my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm a little bit dressed up today. I just went to a ball with my wife at my son's school, and had to get dressed up. Last week I was all scruffy when I did the hot golden age list. Well, this week I'm all dressed up for you, so bit of a, a comparative you can do. Which do you prefer, the scruffy Alan or the posh Alan? So this is the hottest golden age comics of the week, and it should be a pretty good list. Some really good books on this, some big sales. I'm actually shocked by some of these sales. Number 10 on the list is Flying Jenny #2, and this is from Leader Enterprise, number 1947. It's a Matt Baker cover. It's a really great Matt Baker cover at that. It's one that it's actually been on my want list for a while, and every time I just seem to miss out on it. I didn't know about this auction. Had I seen it, I would have totally bid on this one. It went for a really great price. This was a 1/8 that sold, and it sold for $182.19. I'll round that to 182, but it was 19 cents in there as well. Now that was a fairly strong sale because there were no previous records for this book. But there was a 3.0 that sold for $191.20 back in August of 2015. So this is almost as expensive as the 3.0, which is a much higher grade. So fairly strong sale. There are 20 of these on the census, and 20 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 9 on the list is Crime Suspense Stories number 23. This is from EC Comics, 1954. It is a George Evans cover, and it's a classic one. This one was actually used in the Senate hearings on Senate investigation for juvenile delinquency. So this is actually kind of a major key book. It is one where a man is killing his wife or girlfriend or a woman on a boat with a crowbar with like something wrapped around it, just like really planned out murder. So just a classic cover, and that's why it was mentioned in the Senate hearings. So this one was a 0.5, which is the lowest blue label you can get. It was a 0.5 that sold, and it sold for $259, which is a really strong sale for this book. The previous record for this book was $131 in this grade, which was back in September of 2024. So really strong sale, almost double the previous sale, which was only a few months ago. Really, really strong sale. There's 196 of these on the census, and 163 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 8 on the list is Smash Comics number 42. This is from Quality Comics, 1943. It's a Alex Kotsky cover, and it's the first appearance of Lady Luck. Now, Lady Luck actually, I think she appears on the cover of the next issue, but she's not on the cover of this one. And the guy that you see on the cover is not the Spirit. It is actually Midnight. Sort of a weird character that was kind of based on the Spirit. Now, Lady Luck actually takes over the title of Smash later on, and it becomes like Lady Luck as the title. This was a 4.5 that sold, and it sold for $250. This is actually a weak sale. Even though it was the only sale and therefore a record, it was actually not a strong sale because there was a 4.0 that just sold back in December of 2023 for just under $400. It was $395. So this one sold for much less than the 4.0 had, like the lower grade had sold for. So though it's a record, not a strong sale. Somebody got I think a steal on this one. It's a really great price. There's 10 of these on the census, and 9 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 7 on the list is Superman Comics number 76. This is from DC, 1952. It's a Win Mortimer cover, and it's the time where Batman and Superman learn each other's secret identities. Go Collect says that it's the first time Earth 1 Batman meets Earth 1 Superman, or do a team up. I'm not sure if that's the case because I thought Earth 1 was Silver Age. So I'm a little bit confused by that, but that's what Go Collects lists it as. This was a 5.0 that sold, and it sold for $800. The previous record for this book was actually set back in 2014, so quite a ways ago, for $1,613.52. So this is down half what it was 10 years ago, actually almost 11 years ago. So really a dramatic drop. Now, this book has actually been on sort of a downward slide actually since that big sale in 2014. The last sale for it before this one was in May of 2023 for $900. So this book has been continually going down. I'm not sure why, but it's just hasn't really done that well. There's 373 of these on the census, and 336 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 6 on the list is More Fun Comics number 59. This is from DC, 1940. It's Bernard Bailey cover, and it's a Spectre cover. It's not like one of the classic Spectre covers, but it is a Bernard Bailey Spectre cover, so that gives it a little bit of extra desirability for collectors. But this was a low-grade copy. It was a 1.0 that sold, and it sold for $1,100. Now, this is the only sale in this grade, but I think it was actually a fairly accurate value because there was a 1.8 that recently sold in June of 2024 for $1,423. So this is kind of in line with what you would expect a 1.0 to sell for. So kind of what you would expect. Only sale, new record, but only sale. There are 48 of these on the census, and 35 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 5 on the list is Black Terror number 8. This is from Nidor, 1944. It's an Alex Schomburg cover, and it's one that's got a whole bunch of really classic elements for World War II comic collectors. It has the Nazi planes, check. It has a superhero fighting the Nazi planes, which is awesome. It also has like buy war bonds. So a lot of collectors like those kind of elements that kind of really identify it as a World War II comic. And so this is kind of a classic book, a nice Alex Schomburg cover, just a cool book. This was a 3.0 that sold, and it sold for $1,285. Now, this is a really interesting sale, actually, because the previous record for this book was actually set back in October of 2023 for $950. But this is an interesting sale because there was a whole bunch of other copies of this book that all sold within the same day or the next day. There was on the same exact day, there was a same like grade sold for $1,100, and then this one sold for $1,285. So somebody got a slightly better deal on the same day. And there was also I think either the same day or the day after, a 3.5 that sold for $879. So this is one of those ones where you don't see it for a while. Like it's a book you just don't see for a while. And all of a sudden 3 copies came up, all in similar grades. And they all, like, somebody paid a lot, and then 2 other people picked them up relatively affordably. It's just, you never know how it's going to work. I can totally commiserate with the person that overpaid, because I've done this before where, you know, you don't think you're going to ever see the book again, and it just, all of a sudden, a whole bunch of copies come up for sale. So 3 copies sold all within like a couple of days of each other. There are 47 of these on the census, and 43 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 4 on the list is All-Star Comics number 22. This is from DC Comics, 1944. It's a Frank Henry cover, or Harry cover, Frank Harry, and it's a classic a flag cover. Even has like Abraham Lincoln kind of in the background as well. Just a really cool book, a very Americana cover. This was 6.0 that sold, and it sold for $900, which is a reasonable sale because the previous record was set last year for $840. So it's up slightly from last year, which is reasonable sale. There are 85 of these on the census, and 75 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 3 on the list is Fight Comics number 1. This is from Fiction House, 1940. This Fight Comics is kind of a major title for Fiction House, and this was part number 1 of a fairly major ongoing series for Fiction House. It's also the origin of the Spy Fighter. This was a 9.0 restored copy that sold, A1 restoration. So that means professional but minor level of restoration. And it sold for $2,250. The restoration included color touch and tear seals. This is the only sale for a 9.0 restored copy, but we can compare it to some other books. This one doesn't sell that often, this Fight Comics number 1. There was a Blue Label 8.5 that sold for $1,554 in July of 2012. So it doesn't, as I said, you don't see it that often. And there was actually a 9.4 that had sold the previous year in August of 2011 for $11,400. So yeah, those were kind of the older sales. There was a more recent sale in 2017 for 9.6 restored, and it sold for $6,573. Now, when the book is in such a high grade, like a 9.0 or higher, generally restoration really can impact the value of the comic, and that's what we're seeing here. So even though this is actually higher than what you might expect a Blue Label to sell for, generally when it's this high of a grade restored, you're getting about a tenth of the value. So a 9.0, if it was a Blue Label, you would expect to sell for maybe $20,000 based on this sale. So very strong sale in a way. So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting one. There's 38 of these on the census, and 28 of them are Universal Blue Labels. That just shows you how many restored copies there are. 10 out of out of 40, like basically a fourth of the census. Number 2 on the list is USA Comics number 13. This is from Timely, 1944. It's another Alex Schomburg cover. This one's a really cool one. You got Captain America and Bucky, and they're in a tank, and they're just like plowing through some Japanese soldiers. It's a very brutal cover, and it's very Alex Schomburg-y, because the Japanese soldiers have that kind of that sort of anti-Japanese look to them, where they got the messed up teeth, the glasses, all that kind of stuff, and they're just getting plowed over by a tank. Pretty gruesome, but it's an iconic cover. This was a 4.5 that sold, and it sold for $4,200. Again, only sale for this book, so a new record, but a very strong record because 4.0 just recently sold back in January of this year in 2025 for $2,880. So this is up significantly compared to what the 4.0 sold for. So very strong sale. I would have expected this book to sell for around the $3,300 range, maybe $3,500, but $4,200 is a very strong sale. So good sale for somebody. There are 41 of these on the census, and 32 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 1 on the list is Detective Comics number 66. This is from DC, 1942. and it's a Jerry Robinson cover. And this is a major key for Batman. It's the first appearance of Two-Face, Harvey Dent. Just a major character for Batman's Rogues Gallery. I would say he's in that top tier of Batman's Rogues Gallery. This was a 1.5 that sold, and it sold for $5,555.55. Somebody went crazy with the fives, and they won the bid with a whole bunch of fives. So lucky five, I guess. Now this was a pretty strong sale because the previous record for this book was set back in March of 2018 for $2,400. So up double from what it had previously sold for in this grade. You would think that's a huge, huge sale. However, there was a 1.0 that just recently sold in October of 2024 for $4,990. So this is kind of where you would expect. It's in line with that 1.0 sale. In a way, it kind of confirms that 1.0 sale price. It really brings this book up into that next category of expensive keys for Batman. Really a big sale and just confirms it. There's 127 of these on the census, and 98 of them are Universal Blue Labels. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you like my suit. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.